Yes, sir. What is going down, YouTube? It is your boy D Nolly, aka Don Squally, trying hard not to cause an accident out here. But you guys know me, that's just the way that she goes sometimes. Just laying some figure eights out here in that budget Sylvia, man. If you guys haven't checked out this build, this was released last week, man. Go ahead and check that one out. But for today's video, I'm thinking we are going to do something a little bit different here. Now, we're going to go ahead and fast travel to the spot, jump up inside this beast, and as you guys know, we are going to go ahead and select a vehicle. Now, the one thing that I am going to do differently in today's video is I'm going to go into the car pass section since I do have, I guess, the VIP version of this game. I have access to every single one of these cars that you see here absolutely free. Well, I guess not free. I paid real dollars for them to get this car pass. But I really haven't done anything with a single one of these cars since I got them. So what I think we're going to do in the next couple of videos is go ahead and do cars from the car pass specifically. So if you guys have any requests that you guys want to see out of any of these cars that you see right here, obviously we've done the Sentra on the channel. I do own a few of the cars, as you can see, the Gallardo. I do own also the Silverado, which I am a big fan of. But for today's video, what I think we're going to do is jump into that 2019 911 Carrera S. Now, obviously, the bad boy Porsche that is out right now is that GT3 RS. Now, what I like to do is take base model cars in real life as well as video games and try to make them perform, if not the same or better as their more, expensive, shall we say, counterparts. So I think for today's video, that's what we're going to do. Now, I'm going to start out with, let's just say, a very basic silver paint job. And we're going to jump into this one balls deep and see if we can make this thing a true race car. Now, this car, I mean, let's be honest here, folks. This is a 2019 911 Carrera RS, so I'm going to go out on a limb and say this thing is already a pretty impressive car. But as we usually do around this time, we're going to jump into the upgrade section of the game. And we are, in fact, going to see if we can make this thing just a little more interesting. Now, one of the things that I was considering doing to this car is like a Hoovy's Garage kind of crazy V8 swap. Now, let's see if that's even an option. We got that 4-liter flat 6, a 3.8 liter, flat 6 twin turbo, and we got that 4.6 liter V8 hybrid. Now look at the torque, ladies and gentlemen. We got some serious torque here. That looks almost crazy to me right now, but I'm assuming that we're probably going to be on a CVT type transmission. We're not really going to be able to shift if we go that route. Now, nothing here really interests me all that much, but I think for today's video, I'm probably going to go with that 3.8 liter flat 6 twin turbo. Now, I'm not 100% sure, but this looks like it could be the motor out of the GT3 RS. Now, this car is set up as it is to be a rear-wheel drive mid-engine platform, and I think to keep the originality of the car itself, we're going to go ahead and keep that set up the way that it is. Now, aero is something that I definitely want to upgrade on this car. I feel like the overall look of this car would definitely benefit from a huge front splitter as well as a big old wing. So this is one of the rare occasions that we are going to use that Forza race wing, because this is a Porsche, and like I say, I want to replicate, we're going to say the most raced car enhancements that we can kind of get in this game. Now, typically, we would put a race tire compound. Now, I'm trying to think here. A drag tire definitely doesn't suit this car. I was thinking of doing some tire letters, but now that I see them on this thing, even though I was going for that race car appearance, I don't really think that's going to suit this build. So we're going to leave the black tires on there. One thing that is going to get upgraded, however, is the width of the front and back tires. I just feel like the bigger the footprint, the better. Now, one of the things that I am going to take my time with is the wheels here. But fortunately for you guys and the magic of editing, you won't have to deal with any of that business. Now, to be honest, this is one of those cars that if you pick the wrong wheel, it looks like you're playing Grand Theft Auto. But I think for this video, these HRE flows are going to suit this build quite nicely. Now, as far as the track width goes, we can widen this up just a little bit. I got a feeling once we lower this car, the tops of those tires are going to camber in just a little bit. So we're going to widen the track width, not fully, but just a touch. Now, as far as the clutch goes, I'm pretty sure this thing is going to have like that dual clutch, automatic with the paddle shifters, super quick shifting. But just in case it doesn't, we're going to upgrade the clutch as well as the transmission. I'm also going to upgrade the differential to a race diff just because I feel like this car, once we get everything dialed in, that's one of the things that I'm going to want to adjust. And I think that it is, you know, we're going to benefit from having the adjustability there. Now, as far as the suspension goes, the racer in me wants to put that drift spring and damper setup, but the racer in me knows that is just not the correct way to do it. So we're going to put that race spring and damper on here. Anti-roll bars, I'm going to go ahead and upgrade completely because I know if we are trying to make it, you know, this thing compete as close to the GT3 RS as possible, we're going to need all the stability that we can get. I'm also going to throw in that roll cage, and we're going to do a little bit of weight reduction, take out the spare, take out the, I don't know, relocate the battery, it looks like, some speakers, and the air conditioning, delete there. And now comes the fun part, the power upgrade. Now, as you can see, we are rocking those twin turbos. So I'm going to upgrade everything. I'm going to upgrade a few things, not everything. The twin turbos definitely getting upgraded. The camshafts certainly getting upgraded. We're going to go to that lightweight flywheel. You can already see the RPMs just, you know, making a huge jump at what looks to be right around 3,000 RPM. So that is perfect. We're looking at about 112,000 credits, which isn't too bad considering we got the car for free. And I'm liking the way that power is set up here. Looks like we're getting around 732 kilowatts of power, which is going to equate to right around 1,000 horsepower. So I'm happy with that number. That's British horsepowers. I don't know what that is in American or Canadian horsepowers, but that's quite a bit of power, man. And now what we're going to do is jump into the tuning real quick. Not really much that I want to do here except for lower this thing right to the ground. Make a few adjustments on the differential here. A little bit more brake pressure because I feel like with this being hashtag race car, we're definitely going to need that. And the gearing, I think we can leave the gearing the way that it is right now until we get this thing out on the road. And now last but not least, designs and paints. Now what I want to do for this thing is just find a new design, see if there's anything out there that makes this thing look unique. I'm going to actually go ahead and search GT3 and see if there's any skins that make this thing look like a GT3 RS. And as you can see, we do have a couple of skins here. I do like that orange, but I think I would like to get the lime green, but I don't know if this is going to make my wheels green, and I really don't want that. So let's go ahead and test it and see. Did it make the wheels green, ladies and gentlemen? Let's go ahead and check. No, it looks like it didn't, which is perfect. That's absolutely perfect. So we're going to go ahead, take this thing out on the street, see what it's all about. And I think because the weather's nice, we got this beautiful Porsche here. It would only be right to head down to Fortune Island. Now, the last time I did try to do a video down at Fortune Island, it was kind of glitching, but there's been a couple updates since then. So I'm hoping that Forza has worked out a lot of the bugs that we have been experiencing before. Now, before we get this thing out on the street, let's just do a nice little 360 here. Now, it does look like we have a slight green ring around the lip of the wheel in certain lights. But otherwise, I'm pretty happy with the way that this car looks. Taking her all the way to redline. Brakes coming in handy. Good thing that we upgraded those. I feel like we could have used a little bit more braking pressure, but then the car stopped, so that was nice. Now, with this being almost 1,000 horsepower, I think it's like 980 or something like that, I'm expecting this thing to be an absolute handful, but at the same time, it is a Porsche 911, and let's be honest, Porsches have been known for their just complex engineering and overall great driving experience, which is really what I'm looking forward to with this car, which is why I came to Fortune Island for these amazing turns. Now, it looks like we got a storm brewing off in the distance, and it looks like that 1,000 horsepower coming into effect there. Looks like it's starting to rain here, which is not exactly how I wanted to test out this vehicle, especially coming up this mountain here, but nonetheless, we are going to take this thing for a little bit of a cruise, see how she performs. Now, one thing that I am noticing is that if I keep the RPMs rather low, the rear tires don't really want to spin quite as much as I drive this thing off the edge. Okay, this is not exactly what I had in mind for our GT3 RS experience here, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm thinking we might just travel back to the mainland here, actually, and maybe hope that it's not raining when we get there. I'm not really sure. And it looks like, fortunately for us, the weather has not reached this part of the horizon map here, so we're gonna see what this thing can do on some dry ground. Those rear tires just struggling for traction, not gonna lie. But listen to that engine. Those shifts so quick and crisp, which is what's leading me to believe that this thing has that dual clutch automatic transmission, which, I mean, as much as it saddens me to say, I'm not gonna lie, as far as racing goes and being the fastest, automatics truly are the way to go. Now, for a car enthusiast to enjoy the drive, you know, manuals are fun and stuff like that, but you'll be hard pressed to find a person, you know, any normal person that can drive, running into what looks to be an old Dart there, and then driving off the road here. You'll be hard pressed to find a regular person that can shift a manual car as quick as some of these dual clutch automatics. So one thing I'm thinking this car might be able to benefit from just a little bit is, well, for one, less power, or for two, more tire, which is not a possibility. So my other option is obviously all-wheel drive for just a little bit more traction. But as always, I feel like it's just a case of, like, you know, building a car, trying to get into it and expect to be able to drive the thing, you know, 10/10ths, as they say, you know, right out of the bat. I'm sure once I drive this thing around the map quite a bit, it's going to be one of those cars that I'm going to get used to. And I feel like, you know, Porsche is one of those cars that, let's be honest, the engineering and, you know, just everything that goes into this car is what makes it great. So it's probably me if I'm not driving it correctly, if you know what I'm saying. But as you can see, just banking that thing off a red line. Now, I'm almost curious to see what this car would do had we not threw in the camshafts, because, oh, okay. I'm just gonna make that turn in front of you, bud. No big deal. But yeah, you know, we're obviously hitting red line relatively quickly here. So I have a feeling that without those camshafts, we'd definitely be struggling to stay in the power band. But what do I know, man? I am just a, you know, just a Nissan G35 owner. I don't know nothing about Porsches, man. I just make YouTube videos. But with that being said, I'm thinking we are probably gonna post up on the sidewalk here and get a nice little thumbnail for our, or a nice little screenshot for our thumbnail, I should say. And as we usually do around this time, put an end to this video. But as always, I am your boy D Nolly, aka Don Squally. I just want to say thank you guys for watching. Truly, you know, YouTube channel would not be here if it wasn't for you guys, man. So I just want to say keep dropping those requests, and let's do some car pass videos for the next couple of weeks, man. Let me know what you guys want to see down in the comments section as per usual, and we're gonna catch y'all mofos at the next one, man. Peace.
Don't die. Oh shit, where you going, bro? Don't be creeping on my friend. Don't be creeping on my friend. You and your homie. Oh, nut shot. Nut shot. Oh, buddy. Go. And your boy, man. Get him out of here. Oh, fucking. Oh.